Hey guys, this is Andrew with rockclass101.com. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you one of the best pieces of advice I received as a student in music college. So this lesson was actually inspired by one of our premium members, Marisa. Now, a couple weeks ago, she came to me with a great question. She was working on Ode to Joy for our May 2017 site member challenge, and she came to me saying, Drew, I can play the entire arrangement, but something sounds a little bit off about it, and I'm not sure what it is. So I asked her to play it for me, and I listened and I watched, and I noticed something. I noticed that Marisa was so focused on reading the sheet music and playing the entire song from start to finish that she wasn't thinking about how she was playing it. Which brings us to the point of this lesson. In college, they taught us that copying is good. So what does that mean exactly? Oftentimes when we approach learning a piece of music, it kind of feels like sensory overload. We print out the sheet music, we play all the notes, we go from start to finish, but do we ever pause to ask ourselves a few questions? How is this piece of music supposed to sound? How does my favorite artist play it? What technique do they use? What fingering for the left and the right hand do they use? What dynamics do they incorporate into the piece? If you're like me, these were questions that I never asked during my formative years of learning. And it wasn't until I went to music school that these questions were brought to my attention. So when I was younger, I would approach learning songs like this. I would learn the bass of a song. So for example, I would learn the chord progression, but I would go and create my own rhythm to it. So what music college came in and said was, instead of trying to do your own thing, try to emulate the way the artist plays it and try to play it note for note like it's heard on the record, or play it note for note like it's written on the sheet music. So it was a complete mentality mind switch for me. It was like a 180. It said that copying is good, and the best way to learn is to learn from these experts that we look up to, these artists that are great players. When we copy how one of our favorite players plays, and we do it again with another player, and then we do it again with another player, well, that's how we start to develop our own style, which in turn helps to develop our own sound. So how does this all relate to Marisa playing Ode to Joy? Well, when I listened to her play, I had noticed a few things. So remember that she was so focused on just playing the music. She wasn't thinking about how she was playing it. So the first thing that came to my mind was the way that she was attacking the strings, the way she was plucking the notes. She was plucking them with so much force, so much vigor, that they were just really, really loud and harsh sounding. So I asked her a question. I asked her to describe how Ode to Joy is typically played when she listens to it. Well, Ode to Joy is a beautiful sounding song. It's a slow paced tune that is softly played. So I suggested that she use a lighter touch when she's plucking the notes. Next, I had noticed that some of her choices for fingering from going between this chord to the next chord were making transitions more difficult. So I gave her a few alternatives for fingering, which in turn helped with sustain, because Ode to Joy has a beautiful sustain as it flows. Da, 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 right? It doesn't have a choppy feel or sound to it. It doesn't go ba, 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 ba. And lastly, I noticed that there was one section that had a bit of a timing issue in it. Pulling from tips from our proper practicing article, I suggested that the bars that were tricky for her in the tune, that she break those sections down, just loop those bars, slow it down, put a metronome on, and practice them slowly while working them up to speed. So Marisa applied these 3 simple changes to her playing for 1 week. And what were the results? Well, let's actually watch her play it, and let's see how she did. So it's pretty amazing. Doing these 3 little changes, applying 3 simple changes to her playing, resulted in a drastic difference in the way the piece sounded. So what is the takeaway from this lesson? Well guys, I want you to keep in mind that music is more than an arrangement of notes and chords that you're playing. It really is a vehicle for us to express our emotion in our playing. Remember that copying is a good thing. And the next time you approach learning a piece of music, think about how that music should sound. What emotion do you want to draw from your performance of it? And I promise, if you apply this concepts, you're going to be amazed by the results. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Be sure to check out rockclass101.com for more ukulele lessons. And if you'd like to learn Ode to Joy like Marisa, you can click this link right here. Alright guys, again, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thanks!